Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, time for me to do my ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise. I've already reviewed all the films, and including the fan film, Never Hike Alone, even though I didn't include that on this ranking, surprisingly. I thought I would, but I ended up sticking to just the franchise. But maybe in my next time I'll do a ranking, I'll include Never Hike Alone. Probably on the 31 on 31 review or rankings, I'll go ahead and add Never Hike Alone into that franchise for make it 32. So, I don't know. I'll figure the shit out somehow. But kicking off my ranking of Friday the 13th, starting at from worst to best, that's how I decided to do this. At number 12, the very worst is going to be Freddy versus Jason. That's my dead last for Friday the 13th. And mostly the reason this is my worst among the worst for this franchise is because the Jason. I couldn't stand the portrayal of Jason in this movie. It was terrible. It was horse shit. Ken Kurtzegger did a horrible job as Jason. And the guy's an actor. I like him in everything else he's done. I liked him in the Joyride movie, Joyride 3 as Rusty Nail. Thought he was badass and he was great. But in this movie, he sucked ass horribly as Jason. I just didn't care for it. Thought it was horse shit. Also, Robert Englund was great in this. I liked him as Freddy even better than Jason. It's more like a Freddy movie than a Jason movie. So it has a lot of nightmare elements and some Friday elements, but overall it feels more like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie with just Jason shoehorned in. A pitiful bullshit excuse for Jason. So that's the reason why I just had to put this one designated at number 11 is Friday the 13th, 1980, the original. The granddaddy of them all. And before y'all lynch me and start yelling blasphemy in the fucking comment section, let me explain why I put this at number 11. The final girl, Alice. She's beloved by a lot of fans. Adrienne King is a remarkable person. She's a great human being. I love her to death as a person. Her character, Alice, fucking sucks in this movie. She is by far one of the worst final girls in this series. Even though this was at the early stages of gore effects in the movie, and Tom Savini did a fucking great job with the gore effects he applied in this, but some of it didn't age too well over time. You know, like the part where Kevin Bacon has the machete come up through his neck or the arrow come up through his neck when he's laying on that bunk after just having sex and getting his ass grabbed. Well, you can tell that the makeup appliance on his neck, the prosthetic, didn't match the complexion on his skin. And I'll forgive it because it is the 80s, but by today's standards, it does look kind of cheesy and corny and didn't really age that well. So for them reasons and the fact that you get cringeworthy scene after cringeworthy scene with Alice where she has the fucking chance to kill Mrs. Voorhees multiple times throughout the movie and the dumb bitch runs out the door like a fucking idiot every damn time. For them reasons, Friday the 13th, 1980 will sit at number 11, definitively. Number 10 is going to be Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, released in 93 and directed by Adam motherfucking Marcus. Now, this is one movie that I have praised several times on my channel, and I even did a defense review for it. And just because it's at number 10 doesn't mean it sucks or anything by any means, according to me. It's just, the movie is very frustrating. It's kind of like Halloween 2018. It's a frustrating movie to watch because you only get Jason in two sequences out of the movie, the real Jason. You know, you got a bunch of not Jasons in this. The reason I say it like that is because one of my favorite reviewers, Mike Grayson, reviewed this from good or bad reviews, and he called them not Jasons. It's really funny shit. If you haven't seen his channel, look him up, Mike Grayson, good or bad. Jason Goes to Hell, like I said, you get the real Jason. Kane Hodder's portrayal of him was great in this, but you only get that version of Jason in the opening of it and then the very end of it. And in between, you get all these body switching gags and shit. And even though I get they were going for something different in that, I do wish we could have got Jason throughout the entire movie, the entire runtime. So there's a lot of weird, crazy shit in it. Homoerotic shaving is something I could have did without. They didn't have to add that other than shock factor. I wish that wasn't even a part of it. It's just bizarre and very uncomfortable to watch. Very creepy shit. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that one. Number 9 is Jason X. Now, Jason X is another one I defended on my channel. The reason I'm putting it at number 9, though, is because it does have some really bad CGI. And this was in 2002, but I have to say that still to this day, I will attest that Terminator 2 from 1992, I believe it is, or 91, has the best CGI in cinema by far. And that's hard to believe because the Jason X came out in 2002 and T2 was years before that. But how the hell can the CGI in Terminator 2 still hold up way past anything we get today? I mean, look at the Justice League. That movie came out this year, and it had the most horrendous CGI for Superman I've ever seen. It even made Jason X look good. Superman CGI removed mustache just looks fucking horrible. It's horrendous. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. It looks like horse shit. It's just terrible. So, Jason X compared to Superman's mustache removed, fucking amazing. But by itself, yeah, it does have some shitty looking CGI that didn't age too well. At number 8, it's going to be Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. Now, I do like this one. Richard Brooker was great as Jason in it. It had a great cast. It had a lot of fun characters in it. You get the introduction of the hockey mask. You get unforgettable characters like Shelly and that pregnant chick in it. Tracy Savage's portrayal of Debbie was fucking great in it. She was smoking hot even for a pregnant chick. Had some good deaths in it, you know, not too bad. But it does get kind of boring here and there. And some of the characters a little weak, like Chuck. He's a bitch. You know, his girlfriend Chili had more balls than he did. So for them reasons, I'm going to put number 3 at number 8. Number 7, the 2009 reboot of Friday the 13th. This movie's good. I mean, it is good. You know, it's better than some remakes I've seen in other franchises. The only thing that I didn't like about this was that sucky-ass shitty boyfriend character, Trent, played by Travis Van Winkle. I couldn't stand this fucking guy. He is the most annoying, irritable dickhead that you've ever seen in any horror movie ever. He does a damn good job at making you hate him because he's like the ultimate heel in WWE. You know, they do their best to make the crowd hate him, and this guy does his best at making you just want this son of a bitch to die a horrible, miserable fucking death, and he does. It is very satisfying. But if there was anything I really didn't like about it besides that, it would be the cliffhanger ending that we get, where Jason jumps out of the lake and grabs Whitney, and you think he's dead, but he jumps out and grabs her, and Clay intervenes, but you never find out what the fuck happened to him. You don't know if he killed Whitney eventually, if he killed Clay. We're not ever getting a sequel to that, so it's like, what the fuck? Why would you set us up on a cliffhanger ending if you're not ever going to really tell us what the fuck happened? So, it's a very confusing ending. And it's got that shitty-ass, cringeworthy line of, Jason, say hi to mommy for me in hell. It's not as bad as Do Your Thing, Cuz from Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3D, but still kind of shitty. So I got to agree with Derek and Emily on Elm Street about that. It is a corny-ass line that they could have did without. At number 6, it's going to be A New Beginning, Friday the 13th, Part 5. So, now, like my good friend Derek has said many times, a lot of people's gripe and bitching about this movie is that we don't get Jason. We don't get the real Jason in this. Well, you don't get the real Michael Myers in Halloween 3. You don't even get Michael in Halloween 3, other than a cameo from a TV spot of the original Halloween that's playing on a fucking monitor when Dr. Chalice is tied up in a room. And everybody loves the shit out of that movie now. And Part 5 has its place in this franchise. It's very funny. It's really fucking hilarious. There's a lot of good acting moments in it. A lot of funny-ass shit, you know. There's a lot of boobs in it. A lot of nudity. It's by far the most sexual, gratuitous nudity in the franchise. You know, has really good kills, really gory kills. And Roy, as Jason, is a pretty serviceable, satisfying version of Jason. You know, even though he's not the real thing, he does a good job as an imposter Jason. And we do get the real Jason through reflections and hallucinations from Tommy's point of view. So it's not like we don't get the real Jason at all. But if there's anything I didn't like about it, it'd be the character of Tommy. I hated the version of Tommy we get in this. He's always looking bizarre and fucked up and weird. So I didn't really like John Shepard's version of Tommy in this at all. That's the only thing I can say bad about it. Other than that, it's a pretty damn good sequel. At number 5, it's going to be Friday the 13th, Part 2, released in 1981, a follow-up to the original. And it does a hell of a lot better than the first movie. We thankfully get Alice killed off in the first act of the movie. It's kind of weird though, because how the fuck did Jason know where Alice lived? Like, did he look her up in a fucking phone book? You know, how the hell did he know where she lived at? Uh, that part still plagues me. I never understand that. Also, this is the one movie where we get a female that plays Jason. If you didn't know, in the beginning of part two, when we see Jason walking down the road up to the house where Alice lives, that's actually the costume designer playing Jason in that. They just shot her from the legs down, you know, so you don't get to see the face or nothing, but that's actually a woman walking as Jason in the opening. So Jason was played by a woman at one time. So, you know, that's pretty cool knowing that. But other than that, they had some good kills in part two. I really did like a sackhead version of Jason. Steve Dash, the real Jason, did a damn good job. Fuck Warrington Gillette. He was only in that little bullshit dream sequence ending that we get that confuses the shit out of everybody. Because that fucking dog was dead as shit in the damn woods. We all seen the shit, okay? Now just get the fuck over it. It was a dream. Paul's dead as fuck. And if he's not, then I don't know how else to explain the shit. But I'm not going to get into it because I already did it in my review of this movie. So if you want to see it, go on over to my reviews and look at part two. And you'll see my reasons why. I'm frustrated as fuck with this movie, but it's still a damn good flick. Moving on to number 4. It's going to be Jason Lives, released in 86. Now this was the MTV era of Friday the 13th. C.J. Graham was damn good as Jason in this. His military background comes into play big time in his take on Jason. You know, he's got a very demanding, intimidating presence as Jason in this. It's got a great soundtrack. You get Alice Cooper's Man Behind the Mask, Hard Rock Summer. You get Animal, you know, that's another good group. Just all kind of fucking badass shit on the soundtrack. Great cinematography, a lot of funny moments. There was some funny ass scenes. This movie's very meta. It's very self-aware. You know, it breaks the fourth wall in a couple scenes. Some folks have a very strange idea, entertainment. So yeah, part 6 is a badass. It's got a great opening with Tommy Jarvis coming back, and Tom Matthews does a badass job as Tommy Jarvis. I love his take on it. I wish we could have got him in part 5 instead of John Shepard. Fuck that guy. Tom Matthews was better, I have to say. That's my opinion. So I'm sticking to it. But yeah, Jason Lives has a great ending too. Good final showdown between Tommy and Jason. It's the one guy that always got away. Jason never could put Tommy Jarvis away. So it'd be cool to see Tommy Jarvis come back one more time. We do get him back in Never Hike Alone, but in the actual film from the franchise would be great. And number 3 is going to be Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, a lot of you are probably like, what the fuck? How the hell can you rank that at number 3? Because it's Jason in fucking New York. What else can I say? All right, you know, and no, he's not in New York the entire fucking runtime. He is on the Love Boat. My bad, the cruise ship that they're on. But it's basically Jason takes the Love Boat because Rennie and Sean are on this bullshit little cruise ship from Crystal Lake to New York, and then you got to accept the belief that the boat can go, a little rowboat that the survivors get in, go from the middle of Crystal Lake all the way to the ocean into New York and travel there and ride there on time. You got to suspend your disbelief for this movie and just accept it what the fuck it is. A fun movie to watch. It's got good kills in it. Kane Hodder's pretty damn decent in it as Jason. Once again, his second time playing Jason. I liked his look in it. I loved his look as Jason. I love the soundtrack. It has the darkest sound of the night in it. Good cinematography. Good score. I do wish they could have spent more time in New York, but it's what it is, you know. Budget restraints kept them from shooting in more than 10 minutes in it. And Vancouver, Canada does a good job as being staged as New York. So you do believe it's really New York when they're in the subways and the back alleys. That's Canada, but it's actually supposed to be New York. But we didn't fucking know back then, so who gives a shit? At number 2 is going to be the final chapter, Friday the 13th, Part 4. That was a hard decision, choosing that for my number 2, but I love Ted White as Jason in this, and I like the dynamic of Tommy Jarvis, young Tommy, going against Jason at the end of this, and he fucking slaughters Jason at the end of this. He just puts an end to his ass like no other. He definitively killed Jason Voorhees. Because at the end of this movie, when Tommy goes ham and beats the shit out of Jason with that machete, Jason, for all intents and purposes, was dead. As dead as fucking dead can get. And he wouldn't have been brought back until part 6. Until Tommy's dumbass digs him up. So if Tommy hadn't dug him up, Jason would have been done forever. Because Tommy ended his ass definitively in this movie. And that's the reason why I love this. Fuck Trish. She's a dumb bitch. She's the worst, horrible final girl besides Alice. Don't give a shit about her. But Tommy was great in this. Alright, at number 1, this should come as no surprise to my friends Esther Greer from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews. And it's going to be number 7, The New Blood. Friday the 13th, part 7, released in 88. John Carl Buechler, man, you did a damn good job as this. The prosthetic work and the makeup effects you did for Jason in this was amazing. I loved it. It's fucking awesome. I love the character of Tina as a final girl. I thought she was very sympathetic, and she did a damn good job of handling her powers of telekinesis and focusing them on Jason and whooping his ass, laying to smack him down all over his monkey ass across the Crystal Lake. What else can you say? Nick was a great leading guy. I really liked Nick, played by Kevin Spiritus. I thought he did a damn good job. He was way more believable as a male lead than Sean was in Part 8. Sean was a pussy compared to Nick. So, even for Nick to be a gay guy, he still was a better convincing straight guy than Sean was. Sean was a little bit of a bitch and pussy compared to Nick. So Nick and Tina and Jason are by far my favorite things about Part 7. You got a good soundtrack. Once again, the setting, the lake, all that was beautiful on camera. It was shot beautifully. The cinematography was great. And it's just my all-time favorite because it was the first film that I was introduced to at a very young age. It was my first introduction to Jason, the Kane Hodder era. Love Kane as Jason. It was my first introduction to the franchise. So for them reasons, Part 7 is going to be my number 1. And I hope you have all enjoyed my ranking of Friday the 13th. I will be doing a 31 on 31 ranking of all 3 franchises at some point. And maybe I can collab with my good buddy Esley on that one. So look forward to that. And my Elm Street review is coming at you soon. Some point this week. But anyways, that's been my Friday the 13th ranking. And I will see y'all later.